Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to GH Sunday Shift. Tracy and Tanya. Please make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe, you tell a friend to tell a friend about Sunday Shift. Tanya, how are you?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. Just like for our audience know, I do work in local politics and I am like ready for the election to be over because just the shenanigans locally has gotten me like up to here, up to above my head in patience. Like I don't have any more. I'm full to the brink. And so I'm ready for it to be over. And I'm just want to pray for city of Oakland and the Bay Area and this country because just craziness. And so I've been trying to um kind of do some self-care and watching television shows. What I've been watching this week, um, I watched Agatha All Along and it's getting really good.
It's on my watch
So
list.
yes. What else did I watch? Oh, just nothing really else. Really. I've been watching a lot of reruns. I watched Maleficent last night because it's almost Halloween.
There you go.
I'm still
I've
not
been,
ready. Yeah, I'm not ready to watch Beetlejuice. I think Beetlejuice, even though it's kind of in the 80s and it's kind of supposed to be humorous, it still looks a little scary. And
I
I'm
don't,
chicken.
I don't really get down with Tim Burton like that. Um, Yeah, I've just been listening to Meg Thee Stallion, if I'm being honest with you. I have a little bit of a headache. It's so funny that I put this like scarf on again today because I did like wash my hair. I like blow dried it, straightened it, and then I wrapped it up. And I was like, oh, I can wear it down. And I was like, no, put it under my
Oh,
headscarf.
I don't know. I don't know if I've or when the last time I've seen your hair straightened.
It's been a long time because I like to wear a lot of protective styles, like braids.
Yeah.
But then, oh my God, it's grown so much under here. It's so wild. Just because I keep a protective style, so it's like anyway, it's been good. And yeah, I couldn't. I was like telling Tanya before we hopped on recording that I just had like a tough time sleeping last night, probably for a lot of the reasons and just being anxious and stressed. But like I said, I've been listening to Meg Thee Stallion. I took a walk earlier and listened to it. She put out Act Two. Shout out to her. Um, and I've really been feeling it. Um, and that's really it. Agatha All Along is on my playlist to watch. Um, I was just watching like a YouTube video of Office cold opens. It's like 2 hours. So not even
Office.
watching the Office. You know how they do the
Oh,
cold open at the beginning of the show.
okay.
Um, Somebody did like a compilation of it, so it was like 2 hours. So I was like a fourth of the way through. I was like, this is what we doing.
Ah, funny. Oh, I just remembered I was sick. That's probably why I don't.
Oh, are you
I
feeling
was,
better?
yeah, I was feeling. It's just that it was a head cold because Oakland last week, unfortunately, we had a slight heat wave and a wind, um, um, advisory, and it was a little windy, and so unfortunately there was a couple of fires in the hills, and so
Hmm.
that really aggravated my allergies, and it which turned into a head cold.
Yeah,
So it wasn't that bad, but it's the worst for me. The worst kind of colds are the sinus ones, where you just, you can't really swallow, you can't really talk, your ears are irritated, and your nose is all.
yeah,
So that was me, and it just slowed me down a little bit, but it was nothing because I had the week before I had my flu and COVID shot. So um
mm,
I I'm on a streak. I have not gotten COVID at all. And I'm going to
knock
hope
on
to
wood.
stay that
Yeah,
way. Yes.
yeah. I'm an allergy girly. The ear, nose,
Yes.
and throat situation. When
Is
it
the
happens, it happens.
worst. The worst thing.
And it's been that way my whole life. So I'm just like, what must it be like to not have these issues? I couldn't tell you.
Well, you know what? I did not have these issues until I became an adult, and I used to feel sorry for my mom and my brother who always had it. And so I'm like, damn it, now I'm getting.
It's my whole last life.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Let's get into the show after we talk about our allergies. This is, this is for me. This is what happens when I've just been like really working with my head down and being boring. I don't have
Uh-huh.
anything to talk about, but like what I listen to and my allergies. So that is a reminder for myself to like find something to do next week so that I will not be embarrassed talking to y'all about my allergies.
Allergies, man, they're the worst. Um,
So, give me your standout performance of the week.
so obviously we have to give all props and glory. I'm like just coming from church, so I'm like, we have to give all the praise as props to Miss Kelly Monaco, who I believe this probably was the last scenes that we were seeing her in. She
The last
was
one she shot, probably.
that
I'm
she
sure we'll see her.
shot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and she I think a lot of people were really feeling it and just trying to digest the scenes that we saw given what we know and how she probably felt. And so she was, she acted with grace and dignity and gave a shout out to fans with the sign language I love you sign. um it must have been a very difficult week, and yet she pulled through and was still the amazing actress that she is. And so shout out to Kelly Monaco. Also,
Monaco is better than me. Because I'd have told y'all, I'd have told them, call Lindsay Hartley. I'm going home. So shout out to her for real, for real. I love her.
right,
That's my girl. And she's better than me.
right. I also and this might be my confusion because I wasn't with y'all last week, but I wanted to give a shout out to Jovial Love and her goodbye scenes.
That was last week.
Ooh, yeah, that was last week. I mean, she's an amazing little girl, and I know she's probably gonna go really far in whatever she does. So shout out to her. But I can't. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, Jeannie Francis was on this week.
hmm
Um,
I
yeah, I
will
don't
say
want to
that
thank anyone else.
even though we'll talk more about the substance and like a lot of my feelings around the substance, I just
Uh-huh.
want to give a shout out to Brooke Kerr
Yeah.
for just doing her thing. They
Mm-hmm.
give her some tough stuff
Right.
um, to make it, but she grounds it. People have
Mm-hmm.
really strong feelings about Portia, and the only reason that you would have that is because Brooke plays the position that she's given.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a fan of Brooke since high school because I watched Passions, and I was extremely excited to see her come on to GH. I do feel like they squandered her and her talent. Um, I mean, shout out to her being just like people always say like somebody doesn't age. I don't even think that that's the case. I feel like she's just timeless. She's like a timeless
Yeah.
beauty. Um, and I just she puts her all into the performances. She
Mm-hmm.
does make you feel what Portia's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot to be said about the character and the writing, but shout out to Brooke Kerr because she's always really, really doing her thing.
Shout out to Robert Gossip.
Oh, yeah. That was
um,
last week too.
yeah, his goodbye party last week too. And you know, I had feelings about him when he first started, where I just did not
hmm
understand what his point was. And then I didn't like him. And then I was just like enthused by him. And then I was like, he's actually really great. And he won 2 Emmys. And so, but I guess his time had to end. So just shout out to him and wish him luck in his whatever his pursuits are in the future.
I have so many feelings, but yes, yes. Shout out to that. Let's get into the story because we have
Yeah.
some things to discuss. Um, so as you pointed out, we had Hat Daddy's kind of going away party last week. I do appreciate that they let that ride before having
Mhm.
Rick come in and essentially
Mhm.
ruin the party. Like, and say, Heather is free. And it's so interesting because Rick had gone through all the rigmarole before that to be like, to make it just feel like greed and all of that. And then all of a sudden it flipped to the whole town, like nobody really wanted Heather out, which I found to be really interesting. Another thing they put on Portia's back.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so he tells folks at the Savoy, um, Trina and her family's there, and then you got Molly there standing up, and you got the Molly TJ of it all. Um, we got Joss and Dex who bounced. Joss and Dex are me. They was like, it's getting nasty up in here. I'm gonna see y'all later. Like I had never
Mom
felt
was
so
like, we gotta
seen.
go.
I've never felt so represented on screen before. I was like, I'm out. But like, let's hop into it because obviously we know like the big thing. Let's just start there with the conversation that Portia had on race. I have lots and lots and lots and lots of thoughts, but would love to. I've been talking, so I'll let you start.
Well, so we have been talking a lot even prior to this show or this episode, how GH really doesn't tackle race very well and how they have had this story with Trina from the very beginning and not thinking about how what they're doing with her character really plays out in the real world, in a sense where we red flagged the fact that she was I don't want to say what alcohol poisoned or whatever, but she,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how it looked for her to be, drugged. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't like that. At a house party with four white people. We didn't like that. We didn't like the fact that she was accused of doing a crime by a white woman. We did not
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that um not only was she accused, but she was being prosecuted. And
Mm-hmm.
the threat of jail and what that means for a black woman, we did not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
All facts.
there oh, we did not like that. There was also, just in general, just kind of a lack of real discussion about race and how that impacts Black people. Um, and then, there has been maybe the writers listened, or maybe, no, not just maybe the writers listened. We've had the actual Black actors advocate for themselves on the
Mm-hmm.
show. And so then when they are successful, and they actually do talk about race, it's not as comprehensive or as full as it should be. But then
Mm-hmm.
two, we have the audience who may be majority white or whatever push back on it and just be
Mm-hmm.
like, well, how are you going to bring up race? Why is everything got to be about race? And why are you blah blah blah?
Right.
And so this instance, it happened again when Portia rightly discussed how judges do not, or the judicial system in itself does not take into account how it affects Black women and how we are not cared for, not thought about, our feelings aren't considered, our lives aren't considered when judicial, decisions are made or handed out. So
Right.
Portia rightly brings that up. And again, and I was mainly looking on Facebook and its Facebook groups, I think it's General Hospital fans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading the reactions, and the majority of them were like, oh, GH again, pulling the race card. Why do we got to talk about race? Why it's not? I mean, it's happened to other characters. And why is race a factor? Just because she's Black doesn't mean that it's about race and yada, 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 yada. Now, I did a little, some people may not be on the GH fan website on Facebook and may not have known it was me, but I trolled a little bit because some people were just like, they're like, oh my God, I'm just so offended and all that other stuff. And I'm just like, I went on there. I think I had a comment. I'm just watching for the comedy and I was eating popcorn, the Michael Jackson meme. And then somebody was
I wish
like,
you would have sent me, tag me in next time.
and then somebody was like talking about how just because we don't like Portia doesn't mean that we're racist or and all this other stuff. And I said, so the one final comment I made, which was actually serious, I said there's three things happening here, or two things. I said there's two things happening here. One, yes, the way that Portia is being written, she is being written as someone that's mean for to some too mean in some aspects. But on the other hand, as a mother, rightly so, because Trina is put in danger. Trina was in a relationship with a man and a family that's dangerous. Trina was targeted by a serial killer. So she has every right to be protective of her child. Now, I didn't quite understand the relationship, the anger that she had against Brad, but neither here nor there. And yes, she was super
Yeah,
mean to
nigga.
Brad. But so there's two things that's happening. And on top of that, America has a race problem. America has a problem with Black women. Think that we're too angry, think that we're too loud, think that we're too this, even no matter how justified our anger is,
Right.
we are still seen as too angry. And white women do take advantage of us by throwing us under the bus whenever, it's possible, by, yes, accusing us of crimes that, they did just so they can get away with it, using like the judicial system against Black people. This does happen. The judicial system is racist as hell. It's true. It happens. So all of those things are true at the same time. And then I added a little bit of a wrinkle and I said, "Oh, and by the way, The Gates is about to debut." And so and so producers are probably like, "I need to do what I can to make my cast, my Black cast happy
Yep.
because I could lose them to the Gates. Not only my Black cast, but I could lose my Black audience." So all of the shows are doing what they can do to support their Black actors. I'm seeing it on on Young and the Restless. I'm seeing it on Bold and the Beautiful. It's probably happening on Days of Our Lives, and it's happening on General Hospital. So all of those things come into play when it comes to this particular situation in my mind. And I posted that, and actually maybe only one or two people liked that comment, and they were both Black.
Woo.
So
I have so many thoughts. Um, I do not disagree with anything that you said.
right.
So I want to start there. I how do I even order this? I think that art has a responsibility to society. I've always
Mm-hmm.
thought that. And if you are going to tell stories about race, it's actually important to get it right. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell them. And so it actually does mean something that they have created Portia and put her in this very dislikable role
Mm-hmm.
and then had her talk about race.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in this conversation that she had back when it was like Cameron had pulled a gun on Jordan, and so her and Jordan had the conversation, and then Trina and Cameron had the conversation, is that everybody was like written pretty balanced if they were written for it all. And it wasn't anybody who was like super unlikable or
Mm-hmm.
super like somebody that they knew the audience didn't like. And the feedback on Portia has been consistent, so the show knows how the audience feels about Portia. So I actually think it was really irresponsible of them to have her talk about race in a way that didn't even make sense. Because the reality is, what they were talking about, I was like, what are we talking about here? If Heather most of Heather's victims were white. Trina wasn't even considered as a part of like what happened with Heather. So there's definitely stuff that you could say about the justice system or the injustice system and race, but this didn't make any sense. You could have popped off on Molly because Molly was one of the people who tried to make Trina take a plea deal. and then she came
Yes.
in here defending, that would have been
Yes.
a great point of contention, and she would have been
Mm-hmm.
absolutely correct. She
Mm-hmm.
could like she could have popped off on the fact that Trina has been for the past months. Oh, I trust the justice system. I trust the justice system, and talked about how her position in this city has created a situation where Trina doesn't know not to trust the system.
Right.
There are many, many, many ways they could have talked about race that made sense. This did not make sense. It was even like, they're like, well, if it was Molly or if it was Jocelyn, I hear you. And Jocelyn almost was also almost killed. Heather got closer to Jocelyn than she did to Trina in all of this. So it just like the race factor felt really lazy in the way they did it, in the same way it felt really lazy when they got Alexis out of jail early, like as a byproduct of what they did with Sean.
Yeah.
So there's like, and even Curtis could have brought in, yeah, like the whole freaking town knew that that Sean was innocent and he was in jail. Like there were real ways to write this. And so it's frustrating to me that this was written so poorly and then it was received so poorly. But for me, it was almost racist people are going to be racist people. People are going to be mad when we talk about race. People are going to be mad when we talk about gender. People are going to be mad when we talk about sexuality. It doesn't matter. They should still do it. And it should be done in a responsible way. And I just felt like this was irresponsible. And it really is unfortunate because you have somebody like Portia who you can, in like the way Brooke plays Portia, you could really see her care and concern. You could really see what she's putting into this role as this caring mother. And to be getting this writing makes no sense. Like we really got Heather over here just looking super innocent and just kind of annoying to other people. Nobody else is scared of her. Nobody else is feeling like threatened by her. And then you got Portia being like, I'm about to like step way over the line and tell Trina she gotta get out of town. What are we doing?
Right. And Curtis. Curtis, he only really stepped in to care whenever, unless Portia kind of like expressed her concern about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't actually having scenes where on his own he was scared for his daughter. He was
Right.
reacting to Portia.
And so it continues to fall back on the character of Portia.
Yes, on
The
women.
writing for Black women
Right.
to be even more direct. And so
Yes.
now we have in this like they're trying to figure out where Heather's gonna go. Um, Rick is like, you should probably leave, and she's like, I want to be around. Heather's like, I want to be around Ace, and maybe I could stay with Elizabeth. When Heather was talking to Liz and she made that face,
That was hilarious.
but Curtis brings in Stephen Lars, which what to like come get his mama. Where you, I know that we knew Stephen was coming, but how did you feel about the appearance, what he's doing? How do you feel about the story?
Well, I mean, I probably would have liked it if I didn't know that Curtis brought him there. Right. Like if he just comes, we didn't get that scene where he's clearly bribing the man to bring his son, his mom home with him. I
Mm-hmm.
think it probably would have, I would have liked it better if I hadn't seen none of that. He showed up and he said, Mom, we do need to make amends. We do need to, let this town get over what you did. Why don't you come with me and we'll start a new life together?
Boom.
Boom. Then that would have been, actually a happy ending, happier ending. Now I got to feel all kinds of way about Curtis and Portia being manipulative and Curtis using his power to just get rid of a white woman that they don't like. Even though
I
that's a little
mean,
bit ironic. It's like,
that's my favorite thing that
right.
Curtis has ever done.
But yeah, because that's the first time he's, really protecting Black women on a show, whereas previously it's all about um him Captain Save a White Woman. So he's just like that
Yeah.
about now he's about that with any woman. But
Well,
so yeah, I did think yeah, all of it was hilarious with Elizabeth's role.
yeah.
So
And now we have Brad essentially like blackmailing Portia.
unfortunately, that's comedy for me. I almost felt like, she kind of a little bit deserved it because she's just hating on Brad for real no reason whatsoever, being mean and bitchy to him. And now he's like, oh, okay, I see you.
I don't understand um the attitude because
Right,
it was like it wasn't just a protection of myself. She was having an attitude with him before all that happened.
right.
So I don't
Yeah.
quite get it.
So it's almost like a comeuppance to what Brad is doing, and I just find it all funny, especially the hat tip.
And the Eckert donuts. Um, so also happening, we got Ava and Rick.
I
The
ain't mad at
chemistry is
it.
there.
I am not mad at it.
These two outcasts, Sonny would hate it. I'm here
Everybody
for
would
it.
hate it. And, Nina blocking it. I did well, hey, I guess she's trying to be a friend or whatever, but I ain't hating it. I like it. Let's have it.
It's so raggy that Ava and Nina are friends again. I don't care about it. I'm so annoyed by it. It was just like, what was the purpose of breaking the friendship up?
Right. But I like Ava having friends, so she doesn't
I
have that
mean,
many.
she needs
And
friends, she needs family, she needs something. I mean,
yeah.
not
So
particularly Nina, but
okay.
um, well, we also have Sasha confiding in Nina. This story, I'm disgusted. First of all, I don't understand the need for incest. I really don't. I don't get that as a storytelling device ever, but specifically in 2024. I'm not here trying to watch Game of Thrones. Like, what was the point? And I think what I am still stuck on is not just that they are like I'm hoping that Cody ends up like not being Mac's kid and then like they're really not related. But even still, when Sasha thought they could be related, she went and tugged him down. It was disgusting, and I cannot look at her the same.
I I'm happy for two things. One, that she has family. Two, she's not going to be with Cody anymore. So I am at this is a horrible means, but it's a great end for me. So, I don't, yeah, I know the preview shows that Cody's going to show some emotion. I want Sasha away from that and headed towards Michael. And yeah, getting to know her dad. I think that would be a great story for her. So, hey, if I have to endure a little bit of mind nastiness, I will fast forward it and then start focusing on her scenes with Michael and with Robert, getting to know the Scorpios. And Cody, I hope Holly is successful and learn Cody off the screen so he can go and do another con because I don't need to deal with him. Period.
Mm. You have been consistent in your dislike for Cody, which is hilarious. Um, hilarious behavior. I love it. Um, I
As a trope, yeah.
GH GH has been operating just like holding itself together by tape and glue. I'm like, do you have a story map? Do you know what's happening day to day, or are you just rolling in like where we going? And so that is what frustrates me so much with this Holly return or like this Holly twist for Sasha. we have seen Sasha go through so much. And so to retroactively make Holly her mom, I never liked Holly. I didn't watch in the 80s or whenever Holly was first on. My first interaction with Holly is when she let Sam's brother die. And so because of that, I don't fuck with Holly. That's
Mhm.
me. That's where I land with her. But every time she comes around, they make her terrible and more terrible. So after all of this, you're telling me that Sasha went through all of that and you didn't do anything? You let her do it alone? If you know her last name is Corbin, then you actually know her connection to Sonny. So you know that she lost a baby, you know that she lost a husband, you know that she had a breakdown, you know that got locked up, you knew that she was on a conservatorship. You knew all of that and you did nothing. You didn't even if you couldn't come back for some reason, you didn't call Robert to tell him that's his kid. This is
Yeah,
wild.
to tell Robert you're about to prosecute your own child right now. None of
Just
that.
nothing.
But, you know, I've never liked Holly as a character anyway, because one is just like she does terrible things, but then when she comes to town, everyone's like, Holly's here. Like, so she's boring. She is boring. And she's like a useless, definitely useless, definitely Kelly Monaco money, definitely like why? A big
Mm-hmm.
why. And I guess, tethering her to Sasha is a way to have her be the why, but I'm just like, ugh, I have no
No,
use for her. And then when they did that and everything that we know about her, it's not only a big why, but a big what the hell, and get off the
exactly.
screen, you know, go away.
Go away. We're done.
We're so
So
done.
in addition to that, we now know like they're connecting. So Sidwell is coming into town like to continue Lucky story that nobody liked in the first place. Um, and like Holly has diamonds. She's trying to like take the diamonds to Sonny to get Sonny to do whatever. Part of why I laughed is that I don't know what Sonny does, but I always say that Sonny sells fake purses. So when Holly put her purse on the table, I was like, but anyway, yeah. So Holly's trying to move diamonds. I don't care.
Those weren't great rocks. That's what she's trying. That had sparkle on them. The least she could
What?
have done was given some coal, because then that would have made sense. Maybe they were just, still needing some. I don't know, chip the coal away. I don't know, but why the gray rocks? I didn't get that. It just looked like maybe possibly silver, but definitely not diamonds.
I think diamonds look weird. I'm not rich. I don't know what diamonds look like, but I do like crystals, so we could
Okay.
have done some crystally things to make it look more like diamonds. Because like in movies and stuff, like they'll show you like more cut diamonds and not
Yeah.
raw diamonds.
Right.
And so yeah, because whatever she was carrying around looked silly, and it might look like diamonds again. I'm not a rich
Yeah,
girl,
we
so I
don't
don't
know.
know what real right,
Yeah, we are
but
definitely not diamond connoisseurs, so we can't.
it
They,
don't
I
look
mean,
like movie diamonds to me.
right? It don't.
Like we could have got some crystals, could have
Right.
went to the like. What are we
But
doing?
she looked like she had chunks of chalk with glitter on it. So
Yeah, and I also love her just being like, and don't tell anyone, and immediately Sunny called Jason.
I like
Me
how
and
she
Beta,
was. All right, I like how she tried to flirt with Sunny, and Sunny was like, "Oh, but you're not
not my type. Mo looked like he was having the greatest of times, and you know how I feel. Mo is like, we were embarrassed at the Emmys before. We will not be embarrassed again.
my type."
I feel like
Oh,
he be having pep talks with people like,
better come
listen,
and Bring your A game.
Bring your A game, not your B, not your C, your A, because
A.
we're getting Emmys next year. We will not be embarrassed. We will not be left
No,
out.
no. He needs to tell that to the writers, though.
Well, he can only do so much.
Yet they still win awards, so maybe I have no idea what is going on with the Emmys and GH writing because they always get awards.
Well, I think part of it is because, and I've talked about this with other people as well, that they don't people the you only see like the clips that are turned in.
Right.
And so I think that like last time they won, they ended up doing clips from like Epiphanies or like maybe
Yes.
either Epiphany or Bobby's funeral.
Yeah.
Like GH knows how to curate because of these actors some really great performances that makes it
Hmm.
look like we have great storylines. And
Right.
that's how I think they get away with all those. Because, like, like people aren't watching the whole show, they just watch the reel. And I
Hmm.
think that they are masters in putting together a very good reel.
So yeah, shout out to the Emmy Reel
Connoisseur.
curators. They better be, I hope they're paid top-notch dollar
Because they're
because
the
they be
only reason
pulling,
people win in.
they pull out some miracles. Um, some of them, I mean,
Sure do.
the actors awards, maybe they don't have to, but the writing awards, the direction awards, the editing, yeah, the
Hmm.
editors probably get paid a lot of money. So,
Right.
um, what was I going to say? Oh, about Sonny and Holly.
Hmm.
I had a hot take about Sonny, which can wait till after.
Oh,
Um,
say it. Now I want to know.
I'm just saying the the hair color this week really made him, it made him look like a mobster who's trying too hard. That's what it made him
It
look
was
like.
what I like him with his dark. I like him with his salt and pepper gray hair. So
Yeah,
I wish they didn't do
I'm
that.
just like he looks so much better with just letting the gray happen.
He looks
Just
very
let it happen.
distinguished.
It does. Because Dante, he's getting grayer and he's looking finer and hell. I'm just like, y'all better let these men go gray because they look. Stop with the color. Stop it. Stop it right now. So yeah, he looked like a mobster trying too hard, way too hard. So stop it, GH. Um,
Yeah,
especially when
I'm
he was in the hospital. I forgot what scene he was
the
in the hospital.
random one where he was in Sam's room and everybody's like, "Why is he here?" So weird. Why was he there anyway? Um, then we got Brendan. What am I saying? Brendan and Carly.
Yeah, Jack.
Interesting. Yes, Jack Brennan. It's interesting because now he's like calling upon Carly to get things, and I was like, "Damn, Carly, Anna warned you about that. Like
Hmm.
she was the one who told you like it's not gonna
Hmm.
be that simple. Like whatever, whatever. Like yes, he's obviously smitten with you,
Hmm.
and he's still a mess,
Hmm.
and he wants whatever. So if
He
I
warned.
was, oh, go
I think
ahead.
he warned her a little bit.
He did, he did.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting that she called Jason for him. Were
Hmm.
you surprised by that?
No, I don't know. I wasn't because I think she is a little smitten on him too.
That's true.
And so I think I'm not surprised about it. And especially, Jason shouldn't have been surprised about it too, because he tends to warn her about things, particularly in her relationships, and she goes her own way and does her own thing. So it didn't really surprise me too much,
Mm-hmm.
that she did that.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
just goes to show how strongly she feels about
Yeah. And
him.
Carly loves some mess, getting into some
Hmm.
mess. So I found it
Hmm.
to be really interesting. I do wonder, kind of post, like once Jason becomes, I mean, I hate even thinking about it, but we lose Sam, I do wonder if Jason will find the WSB to be something that he wants to work with or do something with because he needs something stable for Danny.
Yeah.
Um, Like I do think that we are like headed towards seeing him do
Hmm.
something with the WSB.
Yeah. Because I think also that's another thing that attracts Carly to Jack Brennan because he's not criminal per se. He
Mm-hmm.
was in jail, but he was in jail for a reason. And he's somewhat legit in a way that
Right.
Sonny never is. And so that's what attracts, I think that's very attractive to Carly, especially at this time in
Mm-hmm.
life when she's being caught up in a lot of Sonny schemes and it's dangerous for her as a person, as a mom. And so she wants to be closer to legitimacy. And I think now that the worst has happened, Jason will too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm interested to see. I also wish because I actually really hate Anna as a police commissioner. I think because Anna is such a great character, um, and has always just like had her own sense of right and wrong, um, and not like some kind of like legal or office sense of right and wrong. I actually, anytime that she is like police commissioner, it's like not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would prefer her to be doing something with the WSB, or like I just prefer that for her. I do know that that means that she will get less screen time, whatever. But it really does frustrate me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it pulls her away from Valentine. And I want Valentine to come back. So,
Right. I mean,
yes. So I think
yeah.
it would be better if she was away from PCPD so that way she we can have more interactions with
Hmm.
Valentine. Like she could take some time
Yeah.
off, go search for him, come back, and realize the wisdom of not being part of PCBD because she wants to be with her man.
Well, I'm always down with her not being police commissioner. I do.
Right.
I just don't understand what the point of breaking Vanna up was. I do think that like they are the kind of couple they're like an adventure couple, and maybe they
Right.
found it to be difficult to write them in Port Charles, but they write so few romances,
Mm-hmm.
so few couples that it's surprising to me that they broke up a couple that felt popular, that had like really good chemistry, and could have had some drama in town that was not the drama that they gave them. So we will see.
Yeah, I'm still actually kind of trying to navigate the writing be like there have been several new writers transition, so I'm trying to figure out who wrote what and why and what was the plan around it. So it's just like people are like, okay, we're just going through this period because we have new writers. When did the new writers show up? What is the difference between the old writers and the new writers? And I'm just like, when is it going to get better? Because it just, I'm like, when is there more consistency? When is that going to happen? When is there more where we have writers who remember the history and aren't actually changing up our characters to where they're unrecognizable,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. Like, because I'm still trying to see when is that happening and I'm not discerning it very well.
Hmm. I mean, I
So
don't know if they're discerning it very well because the reality is, I don't. The show is not doing what it needs to do.
right.
Um, people in our comments all the time are like, "Oh, I'm not even watching the show anymore. I just listen to y'all." That's
Mm-hmm.
a problem. It's
Mm-hmm.
a problem when your show is not like the whole point of the show. And this actually takes us into like the stuff with Sam. I'm watching this story, this non-story for Sam, and I'm like, "Oh, this is really petty." Like whatever it is that happened behind the scenes, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam is a 21-year-old character. Kelly Monaco is like a 21 like year in the game character. Kelly Monaco is a 21-year vet to just this soap. If you look
Mm-hmm.
beyond this soap and go into Port Charles, even longer into ABC and like that universe, to be taking her out this way For her to have been fired, it's really clear she didn't want to go. And then for you to be doing it in a way that you're not giving her any story that's about her, it's so disrespectful to her. And it is extremely disrespectful to fans who have invested. Because when we think about like daytime TV and long form TV, the point of it is to do fan service. The
Mhm.
point of it is that we can point and be like, oh, I saw this or I watched this. That's why the like I love you signal that she did was so important because of us remembering that she did that when she went deaf. Like
Mhm.
to see how little they've invested into this, that other people have gotten so much better send off. Violet got a better send off. Finn got a better send off. Gregory Chase got a better send off. And Tara from the show, Tara, was like talking about how even when Gregory got sent off, they had to use pictures from his real life in kind of all of the going away things because he did not have enough history on the show. So you
Mhm.
got a 21 year vet to this show that people have invested in. And when it comes down to it, she gets a couple scenes that aren't really focused on her. And even like on her way out, you have people essentially trashing her relationship. Like Maxie talking about Lante, like it is to me, this is the kind of stuff that makes you lose viewers because it's obvious that you do not care about continuity or the audience or doing fan service. And to your point about the gates, that's why people are excited for it. Because people are like, oh,
Mhm.
this is going to be cohesive. We trust these writers because we know their work. And we know with something new, they're going to do well.
Mhm.
With GH, it's not just about giving the black characters something to say. It's actually about holding a story for them, and
Mhm.
actually about holding story that makes sense for everyone across the board. And they're not doing that. It's so frustrating.
It's sad. I mean, not only is like they're trashing not only the character but her relationships with that broader
Exactly.
community, right? Not having her sisters there at the hospital, not having, I mean, Jason, yes, thank God Jason showed up, but no one else like her, like it's just really crazy, the way that they're writing this. And like we're not seeing montages of scenes or anything. Um, but of course, I mean, the way that they wrote this story, everybody else in this and all the other characters on GH think that she's going to come out of this okay. So once she actually does die, however she does die, we're hoping that this comes out better. We're hoping we're going to get an actual real funeral, actual loss, an actual respect of who Kelly Monaco was and who Sam was, to General Hospital. But we're not confident of it just because how they treated the actress. And that is really heartbreaking. Um,
Right.
they like GH has probably lost a lot of fans already. They don't even want to see it anymore now that we're not going to see Kelly.
I mean, it is really. I mean, again,
Mm-hmm.
this is like about why am I going to invest in this show? I mean, we know things change all the time, right?
Right.
We know that like you age up characters, or sometimes you change like backstories around, but that's like you tweak things to make something work or to tell a big story. That shouldn't be the rule of thumb for how you're writing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're seeing. And so, yeah, like the other characters don't know that Sam's going to die, but the writers do. And so the
Mm-hmm.
writers could have written her something that was valuable. The writers could have given her even like moments. Like the only reason the moments are impactful is because Kelly is emotional.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing impactful happening. So she's having these like goodbye scenes with Drew and like whoever else. Like I don't care about Drew and Sam. If it's not Billy Miller's Drew, who cares? Like nobody
Right.
cared. Nobody was a dream. I mean, well, I can't say nobody, but I certainly was not a dream fan with Kelly and Cameron.
Hmm.
Like it's just not. That's not what the couple was. People wanted to see Jason
Yeah.
to actually have moments, to actually have a
Yeah.
moment.
A moment that's
We
not full of tension or, her acting all crazy about Danny because,
right. And
right.
we had a Liz and Jason moment. It does not look like, I hope that it's not happening, but it does not look like they're headed towards each other because I'm a Liz and
Hmm.
Lucky fan. But like we did still have a nice scene with them at the
Right.
pool, like talking. We didn't have any of that with Sam. I don't need a goodbye with Drew and Jason.
Mm-mm.
Get Drew out of here. That's not what we
Right.
want. We want to see
Right.
Jason and Sam because that's one of her signature couples.
Hmm.
And we want to see you respecting the history of Jason and Sam, and then we want to see you respecting the present of Jason or of Sam and Dante.
Yeah.
And instead, you literally have other characters pushing to be like, well, Dante did love Lulu. They probably will still be together. I love Maxie. You know,
Mm-mm.
I love Maxie. I've been a Maxie fan for the entire time. But to have Maxie, like, that was hurtful. To have
Hmm.
Maxie essentially, like, act as if Sam was nothing and that Lulu, like, and it wasn't even a conflict. It wasn't even they
Right.
wrote her to be like, I care about Sam and da 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 da. Like, it was just like, well, he would have just been with my girl. Maxie and Sam have a long term friendship too.
Yeah.
Like it just was like I don't know, like that. It just really put me off. And then so in this search, like we have all of the problems, right? So like now Isaiah has to do because Lucky asked for him to do Lulu surgery because like all of a sudden there's all these issues with Lulu and Isaiah. We get this backstory of the kind of surgeon he was, and now for whatever reason, Lucas, who is Sam's brother, is doing the surgery for her. It is so hard to invest in this when we know the outcome. We know
Right.
Lulu's not dying, and we know Sam
Yeah.
is.
So why does every part of this have to be complicated now? Right? Why does she have to have, oh, well, she might actually have a blood clot now, so this might not be successful. We know it's going to be successful. You hired a new actress. Why put us through all this drama? We could have used it for Kelly Monaco.
Exactly.
You still have Isaiah after this surgery. We could have gone through his background after that. Why do that? You're wasting Kelly Monaco time.
Kelly Monaco
There's
money, Kelly Monaco
Kelly Monaco
time.
time.
It's just it's so again, it's so disrespectful. And I
Hmm.
was like even saying this, it was so frustrating to see. I mean, I'm not really on the timeline like that, but like stuff will come up on my For You page and people are like attacking Kelly fans or saying that Kelly fans are being whatever, whatever. I just feel like people could keep it moving. People
Hmm.
are losing their favorite like actress, their favorite character, and they're mad at like the studio and the network. And now here we got fact checkers entering the timeline. We all don't fact check nothing else. Like again, if Mickey Mouse ain't signing your check, then what are you really doing? If you don't work for the network, then what are we talking about?
Right.
Like,
Well, why do you care?
why do you care?
Yeah.
Um, it just like it's literally people spread misinformation all the time, but you all of a sudden got a fact check and need receipts on whatever somebody else is saying. It's just like a very weird like situation, and I all of it is very sad. It all makes me sad. I just, if you were in your job for 21 years and then you got fired, you would have feelings too. People around you would have feelings too. It makes sense that people have feelings there. So, you know, I will also say, Isaiah, look Kim slut. He got Kim with everybody. He had Kim with Lucky, got Kim with Jordan, got Kim with Lucas. I said, are we
Yeah.
doing this?
Yeah. It sounded like,
Him
yeah, the
and
folks were like shipping him with Lucas.
him and Lucas, I was like, this is actually too much chemistry if y'all are not trying to do this. And I feel like it's unlikely that you're gonna have a bisexual love triangle. I'm here for it, but I just for GH it feels unlikely.
Yeah, it does.
And the Lucas actor is a little bit of a Kim slut too.
Yeah.
Keep them away from Dex. It's gonna come. It's gonna combust. Like, just him all the way around. Um, that's all I got for the week. The week I felt like wasn't that eventful.
Right.
Um, I'm sure there's some things that happened that we didn't particularly talk about, but it felt particularly because we know we're losing Kelly and the character of Sam, like that the affair stuff happened like the week before and then stalled out this week and baby's gonna pick up again. It just is like the continuity of like the storytelling is not there for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I would have just mentioned briefly, I mean, the insertion of Cyrus into the story. Like it
Yeah.
just seems like he pops in and out. The
Hmm.
whole her like Lulu's whatever machine stopped working all of a sudden. Like that just seems like what is this about? And are they trying to frame Cyrus for it? Because otherwise, why
Yeah.
was he there? Like it would have been more meaningful if Cyrus was the actual donor for for Lulu. That would have been like I would have appreciated that because Cyrus would have had more story. It was problematic that he's the one that put her there. Now he's saving her life. That kind of thing. They dropped the ball. But now Cyrus is here and he's annoying people, but why?
I have no idea. I mean, there's rumors out there, but if people haven't seen them, I will not say them here. But yeah, I
Okay.
don't know why he's here.
Yeah. I mean, which is
Uh,
sad because I mean, the actor that portrays him is amazing and he doesn't
so good.
deserve this kind of writing, you know?
Or like the character, like I'm sure he's fine. He'll show up and take his check. He's like a good character actor. But like, what is the purpose of having such talented people
Hmm.
and not telling real story around them? Like, why?
Right.
To your point, we do have Anna like feeling guilty. I do wonder if we are gonna get Lulu and Valentine back, or if they're not Lulu, Charlotte and Valentine back, or is that just her saying something?
I don't know. I hope so. Because it does. I mean, everyone is saying it's not just Anna, it's everyone is saying Alexis is like, yeah, Charlotte should come back. Yeah, everybody, Charlotte should come back. Charlotte should come back. So either they're teasing us or they're really going to be an effort to bring Charlotte and Valentine back home.
I mean, I'm curious as to like what age kids are gonna be, particularly because Aiden is so old now.
Mm, that's true.
So I mean, I do know the actor who plays Danny. I was like looking at his Instagram. So he must be having some like really, I mean, obviously emotional stuff coming up because he's working with a coach. So the
Yeah.
same coach that like coached like Nicholas and Avery and like I think she was also the coach for Hudson and Scarlett
Hmm.
is the coach for him.
Okay.
Um, so I'm imagining that we're gonna see, like really impactful work from him. And like, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I did want to talk about the news. And I lost it, so I can't tell you his name, so I feel rude about that.
Brandon
That they're,
Barash.
huh?
You want to
Oh,
talk about Brandon Barash?
no, I was not gonna talk about
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, okay. What other
um,
stuff do you want to talk about?
that they're casting a new young black
Oh,
man
yes.
to be in Trina's life. Now they did not confirm whether or not this was like a boyfriend or what. And I think it was interesting that even like there were rumors before that Gio was for Trina, and then we
Hmm.
never saw them together. And then now we see him like staying on the couch to like make sure she's good.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, they're hiring a young black man. Um, I think he's gonna be in school with them, and
He's
he's
probably going to
coming.
end up being Isaiah's brother or something.
probably, and that he's coming to like be in relationship to Trina.
Yeah.
I saw mixed reviews on that. I really only saw it because James Lott, who we've done his live before,
Hmm.
he did a separate live talking about this particularly, and he was saying that people were pushing back and they didn't want to see it. Um, and some of the concern is that Trina is not going to get any writing
Hmm.
if she's with him and not Spencer. And I guess my counter is that Trina's not getting writing now. And to be quite honest, Sprita was written as Spencer's story, not Trina's story, which is why we have the issue that we have with Trina now.
Hmm.
I a lot of things. I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'm gonna pause to hear so we can have a little back and forth. I am open to anybody for Trina and anything for Trina. I think particularly because as a Sam fan, I've loved every iteration of Sam's relationships. Not equally. There are some that like obviously hold closer to my heart that I'll go back and watch more. But it, I'll watch J Sam, I'll watch Sam Trick, I'll watch J Sam slash Dream, I'll watch all of it, right? Because that's how talented she is. And when you have somebody who is a heroine, you have multiple love interests for them. And of course, you have your favorite, and you hope they like circle back to your favorite. But if Spencer's off screen, the most compelling thing would be to have her in a compelling relationship so that way, if and when he comes back, it won't be Nicholas Shaw, let's be real. But
Hmm.
like when if and when Spencer comes back, he finds her in this other relationship and the audience feels torn because they like the relationship she's in. That's
Right.
actually like a very big soap trope. It's a specific soap trope if you want your couple to be a super couple.
Hmm.
Like super couple is a style of writing. It does not mean that people super like the couple.
Right.
And having like most like back and forth and all that like makes the couple like it cements the couple as being like epic. So for me as a fan of particularly like a Kelly Monaco and a Sam, I'm more than open to having Trina have multiple experiences and multiple relationships that actually mean something to her and that are popular because that's what actually makes that character stronger and it is what would make Sprina as a couple stronger.
Hmm. I agree.
How are you feeling?
I agree. And I just didn't think that, Geo was that significant of a relationship. And so I am excited to see somebody else. Um, and there's nothing to do with Geo Mata as an actor. It's just more that they did Trina and him doesn't have that kind of chemistry. It's almost like buddy buddy. Almost the way she kind of was with Cameron. I think.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and so, and I think maybe that was what they were trying to do, bring back that whole boy girl dynamic that had happened with Gina and no, it's Trina and Joss and Cameron. Maybe they're trying to bring out that trio back, but it just, it's not the same. So, I think they need um definitely need to figure out what they're going to do with Geo. But I am excited that a new character, and particularly, I mean, I'm biased. I want it to be a black guy, so I'm excited and looking forward to what happens if the writers do write by both of them.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I understand for other people if like they want to see interracial couples. That's not my bag. I love couples that have chemistry, and if they happen to be
Mm-hmm.
interracial, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love The Flash. I'm West Allen all day. I don't know if y'all saw that there was pictures of them on the timeline because they were like at a convention. I got my life. I was like Candace and Grant back together. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love them, but I don't love them because they're an interracial couple. I love them because they had like amazing chemistry and they were great characters together. And so I am open to Trina having all experiences. I do. I think it's actually a shame that they don't bring up Rory for her. Like she never talks about him. That was an actual like Heather killed him
Right.
as a result of him being close to her. Or like not maybe that's not true. I think it was because he was stupid and went into where so scratch that. I think he just like was dumb and walked somewhere he wasn't supposed to. But point is, like she was there. That was a big moment for her, and then instantly they erased it because she took Spencer to his funeral as a date. It was very weird. And it's okay to like allow her to have all of that. Because
Hmm.
Spencer has had, other relationships that impact who he is as a character and build on who he is as a character. Joss had that. Like, no matter how people felt about it, Joss still brought up Oscar.
Oscar, yeah.
Yeah, like he was still a part of her life. He's a part of her story when when it's relevant.
Hmm.
And so for me, like the when I think about Trina, in order for somebody to have a major character, you got to have a few things. So you need to have like an actual peer group that's strong. So I know that like there's for whatever reason there's always this like competition set up between Trina and Jocelyn in like some of the audience's mind. I don't see where Jocelyn gets good writing. I don't see where Jocelyn gets like good relationship writing. Jocelyn has like a relationship that's very sexual, but she does not get like they don't have like epic writing. That's not what's
Hmm.
given to them. So you have that, and then you have to have like a strong family. And the family piece is actually where Jocelyn gets her writing, and it's not even good.
Right.
She's present, but the idea that she was like texting her uncle about who her mama was sleeping with was crazy. That's not good writing. So, but it's present writing. So that's why I think we both go so hard for Portia because we're like, actually, Trina can't get the writing that Trina deserves as a character if people don't like her family. That's not how that. And then they took Taggart away. I don't know if you saw that Raelle was like, "Yeah, I ain't coming back." So they took her away from being a legacy character and then put her in a family that they're like shrinking. What was the point? We don't see her bonding with TJ. What was the purpose of this? Was the, like she could have easily become close to the Ashfords for what it is because her mom was married to them while remaining Taggart's kid. Easily. I don't know. Frustrating to me. Um, I want to see better for Trina. I think that there are layers to doing better for Trina, and I'm open to this young man coming and being one of those layers.
Yeah.
You're like, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into previews for next week.
I do want to make one comment
Oh,
back
please,
on
please,
Geo.
please.
I don't know if y'all saw, so I guess GH had their Graceland weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a actual video going around of Gio Matza playing Annie, Are You Okay on his violin. So
Oh,
apparently he is actually a violinist. And
yeah,
I didn't,
like a very
girl,
big violinist.
he's a very big violinist. And I was
Yeah,
just like shocked. And I was like, oh my God, he's super good. So,
yeah,
shout out to that.
yeah. Isn't his Instagram name like something with a violin or something? Yeah, he's like
I don't
that's
know.
like his. That's like he does that way more than he like actually acts. Like he has like a lot of.
Yeah. Like apparently he
Oh,
does concerts on, opening acts for a lot of sports games or something like that. But he's really
yeah.
good. So he should go to
Uh-huh.
Vegas and get off GH. Because they're not writing well for him.
They're not. But the thing is, they're not writing well for anybody. So I don't. I
Right.
mean, like Gio's not great, but he's kind of in the way for better writing. But it's not like anybody's getting good writing.
Right.
We like. I mean, well, I love. We like Dex, but what is Dex doing?
He might be having an affair with Molly soon, so.
and I will not forgive him. Um, he'll be dead to me. I did love him. Make my dude a thug again. You know what I'm saying? He was ready. He was like, Jocelyn, if anybody hurts you, I was like, that's right. You better thug it out, Dex. You remember that song with Black, the girl group with JC from NSYNC, and he was like, "Are you feeling my tins, my baggy jean, my thug appeal?" That's what
Oh,
Dex was. That's what Dex was saying to Joss when he was like, "Somebody put their hands on you, girl. Get my dude out the police force. Let him be in his tins, his baggy jeans, and his thug appeal." That's
okay.
it. That's just very like I was very serious about how I feel about that.
Yes.
Get him out
Very.
of the PCPD. We're done here. Um, all right. Previews. Sasha lashes out. This is Monday. Drew takes a hit. Laura is relieved. Anna tries to right a wrong. Jason and Spinelli take on a new mission. Okay, Jason and Spinelli. Stone Cold and the Jackal. Um, Tuesday. Holly makes an offer. Nina advises Willow. Ned gets the upper hand. Lucky opens up to Laura. Michael is shocked. Please tell me they have a real affair. Because this boring kissing affair, I don't want like a Milo divorce over some kisses. Y'all need to sleep
Right.
together.
Yeah.
But I do, but to be clear, I do want a Milo divorce. By the way,
Yes, we all
uh,
do.
Wednesday, Dante and Rocco have a heart to heart. Sasha makes a slip of the tongue. Hopefully, not to her cousin again. Alexis is alarmed. Cody confides in Maxie. Drew offers reassurance.
To Willow and
Thursday,
then bow and chicka bow wow.
hopefully. Thursday, Tracy and Ned plot their next move. Michael strategizes. Willow makes a fateful choice. Oh, so this must all be really messy. Okay. Chase offers congratulations. Cody makes a deal. Friday, Robert wrestles with his past. Rocco feels guilty. Dante opens up to Sonny. Maxie and Smelly navigate a parenting choice. Christina and Molly bicker. So none of this has been really clear on what's happening with Sam. I do wonder if, to our point before, like they filmed out of order so that what we saw already, or like what we saw with Kelly being so emotional, was actually Sam's last stuff. Because I know they ain't gonna kill her off screen and just tell us. Like, so what's about to
Yeah, I
happen?
mean, they didn't really talk much about the surgery at all. So are they expecting us to believe the surgery is lasting all week? What? I don't know. They talk
What is
amazingly
going
a
on?
lot about Michael and Willow, and they're really a side story. So unless they're really trying to step it up, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
Or if it's happening and they like just not put the previews. Do you remember when
Yeah.
they were doing like the Hook story and Ava got hooked and all that? They never put like when people got hooked. They never
Yeah.
put those in the previews.
Yeah.
So,
All
so if
right.
you had something like Dante is concerned or Alexis is frantic or whatever, like then we would know. So they might maybe they're trying to hide it. But
Mm-hmm.
I still am curious when Sam's last day is or Kelly's last day is, and I still will. I still plan on going live whenever that is, and I'll keep y'all updated.
All right.
All right, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you made it to the end, thank you for making it to the end. You're the best. Tell a friend about Sunday Shift, and we will see you next week.
Bye.